This video is in response to a community post that I created where I basically asked everyone to ask me any questions that you want, and I got close to about 100 questions. And in this video, I'm going to try and go through all of them, or as many of them as I can. I've got no idea how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to try and do my best and answer all the questions as best I can. In the description of this video, I am going to leave some timestamps in there to help you navigate. So if you're really interested in maybe listening to the answers to your own questions first, then I'm going to try and put basically everyone's name down there, and you can just click on the name and hopefully that will just give you a quick access to the questions that you asked. Alternatively, I would really encourage that you just listen to the whole video. It's not a video that you need to sort of watch or anything. It's just me talking. So hopefully that will be okay. Anyway, I think we're about a minute in, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So the first question comes from AJSTYLEZ24. And the question is, what's one of your favorite memories while exploring the capital wasteland? Okay, so I guess one of the things that I really like are random locations and random events. My most favorite is probably from Fallout 3 when I first found the alien blaster. It was probably the very first few random locations that comes to mind that I remember where it sort of had an impact on me. So that's probably my favorite random event. The next question comes from AllNeopolitan, and the question is, would you like to see solo features from Fallout 76 in the Fallout 5, like hotkey, weapon, item wheel, caps to travel, build anywhere, etc.? I haven't played a lot of Fallout 76, but I think the short answer is yes. I've not played it much, but if anything helps Fallout 5 feel more catered for the offline solo experience, then in my head that really only means good things, on the assumption that Fallout 5 is hopefully an offline solo experience. Our next question comes from Andy Williams 3711. Okay, can you beat Fallout 76 without getting hit once? Okay, well, again, I've not played enough of Fallout 76 to be able to say that, but I assume it probably is possible. Given when we think about the games that are out today, I'm not going to name any, but there are some pretty hardcore games out there that are meant to be played on like legendary mode, and a good few number of folks have completed those games without getting a single hit, sort of like a no-hit challenge. If it's possible on those games, then I would assume Fallout 76, it probably is possible. Our next question comes from aperson4734, and the question is, who trapped you in Fallout? Well, the short answer is I did. Fallout 3 was the first Fallout game I ever played, and I have been hooked on the game series ever since. Our next question comes from Ayo the Pizza here 5029, and their question is, have you thought of making money off the channel? Yes, I have. I do get revenue from AdSense, and it certainly helps me. I do one day hope to go full-time, but at the moment it's not something I can do. But yes, I do make money from the channel, so that it really helps. It's not sort of like a really big significant amount, but to me it's quite a significant amount. But one day I hope to go full-time if the channel grows enough. But for the moment, I'm just enjoying things for what they are. Our next question comes from Bradley698, and their question is, do you think we will see pipe weapons in Fallout games more and more, or do you think they'll stay in 4 or 76? Also, what's your opinion on the evolution of the Nuka-Cola bottle? Okay, so to answer the first half of the question, I think it depends on the setting. If it happens to be set in a location where such material is widely available, then I think it makes sense to see pipe weapons. Otherwise, probably not. Personally, I have always loved the look of the Nuka-Cola bottle, probably because of my affinity for its real-world counterpart. But yeah, I personally do like how the design has sort of evolved a little over time. First it looked like a bottle, now it looks more like some sort of mini rocket ship. But yeah, I like it personally. Our next question comes from ChuchuMama9819. What is your favorite food to eat sit-down restaurant? Well, my favorite food I love burgers. I'm not sure since when, but I definitely like burgers. When it comes to type of food, I definitely like burgers over any other type. I'm not entirely sure why, but I just do. Pizza, pasta, rice, curry, chops, grill, whatever it happens to be. I just tend to like a good burger. Our next question comes from Cookies245. If you had to choose one universe to live in, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield, which one and why? Okay, I don't know if it's a trick question, but I'd probably have to go with Fallout. Yeah, I'd go with Fallout. Otherwise, I may have instead been trapped in maybe Elder Scrolls or trapped in space or something like that. Why? Fallout was one of the first few games that I played that had the sort of exploration mantra to it, and it's something that I've loved, and it's something that stuck with me the first time I played Fallout 3. And that's why I really like playing games where you can basically do anything, anywhere, sort of the whole sandbox experience. Our next question comes from Daft Alive 2007. How did you get trapped in Fallout? Ooh, okay, well, it was purely from a random event. So I think this question was asked in one of my previous QA videos. Basically, I basically one day walked into a game shop and I picked up the game. I picked up Fallout 3 purely because of the game cover. Up to that point, I had no idea what Fallout really was. Didn't know anything about the genre, the franchise. Well, yeah, the game specifically. I heard its name sort of mumbled about in sort of corridor gossip, so to speak. But I just picked it up and I didn't even realize it was a Fallout game. I just thought, it looks really cool. Like, you had the T45 power armor on it, and I thought that looks really cool, and I'm definitely going to buy a copy. And that's it. That is literally hand on heart how I got into Fallout. No drama, nothing special, no surprise. It was just me walking into a game shop, buying the game because the cover looked cool. The next question comes from Darkness45825. What? Why are you so cool? Okay. Well, I'm from London and it's always raining down here, so that's probably one reason. Well, I don't really consider myself anything of the sort. I do try my best to be as mellow as I can. I've been through a fair amount in my life, and I've learnt a lot. And sometimes, I've learnt a lot the hard way on many of those occasions. So I like to really, I don't know. I do feel like I am thoughtful and cautious and conscious of what it feels like to be in other people's place. So yeah, I take my steps based on that sort of thing. Sorry, that was definitely a very waffly question to answer. Hopefully that's a good answer. Our next question comes from Dazzle Bornos J Hosias 9998. Where I can download Fallout 1, Fallout 2 free, and translated I'm Latin. Okay. So sadly, no. I have no idea where you can download the classic copies of Fallout 1 and 2 for free. I got my own personal copies from Steam, and I remember purchasing both copies for less than £5. I think it was probably during a Steam sale, like a summer sale or a seasonal sale, and I definitely got both copies for under £5. So I can only suggest maybe check out Steam or Epic Games. But I don't know where you can get both copies of the game for free. Next question, LK1R by Mexicano. And their question is, do you like cheese? Yes, yeah, I like cheese. Although I only really have it on occasion, trying to stick to a diet as best I can. And sadly, cheese is one of the few things, one of the many things actually, that I'm trying to cut out. But yeah, I definitely like cheese. Next question. Rich Cristiano 3059. Question 1. What is your favorite Fallout villain? Question 2. What is your favorite place in the Fallout universe? Probably a cheap answer, but a common one as well, I think. My favorite villain has got to be Benny from Fallout New Vegas. You first encounter the dude when he shoots you in the head, and you somewhat tend to be entertained by his ideas and only sort of end up in the worst end of the stick when you do. He's a very, very memorable character, the way he talks, the way he looks, his sort of charisma. I mean, the guy literally shoots you in the head, and depending on how you go down the story, you end up doing more stuff for him. I mean, interesting. In terms of favorite place that comes to mind instantly is Rivet City in Fallout 3. I love the architectural design of Fallout 3. And sometimes I wish it's something Fallout New Vegas had as well. More of the sort of broken down buildings and miniature cities, that sort of thing. But yeah, my favorite place would probably be Rivet City. I've got an affinity for sort of boats and water-based environments, and when it comes to Fallout, sort of broken down environments. So Rivet City is something that I quite vividly remember, especially the first time going there. It was quite an interesting experience for me. Our next question comes from F104 Starfighter 8. How do you feel about this? Because it's a great thing, I'll say. Okay, I'm not sure what this question is actually asking. I'm going to make an assumption that it is about me hitting 2 years on YouTube. So on the assumption that's right, it feels great. It's been a long journey, but not a lonely one. Yeah, I have always felt that the support of everyone has really helped me to come this far. Personally, I feel great. In fact, it's willing me to go even further and see what the next 2 years hold. I hope that's what your question was pointed towards. Okay, next question. Fallout 4505. And that question is, if you had to choose, would you rather survive in the Mojave Desert or the capital wasteland, and why? Okay, again, interesting question. I think I would go with the capital wasteland. I love the environmental design of the game, and I love to play as a sneak build. The builds that I love playing in Fallout and other games, when I think about it, are usually sneak based or heavy gun based. I sort of go on the two ends of the spectrum. One where I try to avoid fights as much as I possibly can, and the other where I try to get into as many fights as I possibly can. So given that I like this whole sneaking around and avoiding things, I think being in sort of claustrophobic environments suits that playstyle a little bit better for me. So I think I would rather be in the capital wasteland, simply because I think my odds of surviving would probably be higher. Also because the Legion are not in the capital wasteland. Okay, next question. FILTH_Y4408. How long does it take for a giraffe to vomit? I don't really know. It sounds like something that I would benefit from knowing, I think. So I will take a guess. Probably the same amount of time as any one of us. Okay, next question. Flambujambu8177. Yeah, who won the lottery? I'm going to assume a very lucky person who hopefully will go on to helping out their family and friends and maybe invest the remaining amount. I have no idea who won the lottery. It's not something I do. I don't follow the lottery. I don't play it. Fun fact, I've never once played the lottery in my life, like ever. Next question, Gaming Guy 3. And their question is, do you think you will continue to 2030? Well, I hope to. I love Fallout, and one day I hope to, when I think about it, one day I hope to cover Fallout 5, and chances are it will probably be out somewhere near 2030, probably 2032, I don't know. But yeah, I plan to cover Fallout for as long as I can. Next question, Grognok. And that question is, other than the oldies, what genre of music would you prefer while trapped in Fallout? Okay, well, you're probably not going to like this answer. I actually like to immerse myself in the game, so when I play, I turn off the background music as well as the radio music. That said, I play as a sneak and as a heavy gun user, so if I had to pick another genre or a type of music, I would probably plug in any of the music track from the Doom series whilst playing as a heavy gunner. I think that would probably be a very fun run, I think. Okay, next question comes from Halo Sona 9248. And the question is there a good guide on how to become a YouTuber? I'd like to try, but I would rather not have people show up at my house or hack my accounts. Okay, that's a very interesting question. I'm not entirely sure if there are any guides out there that can tell you how to become a YouTuber, but certainly there are great channels that you can draw a lot of knowledge from, including the do's and the don'ts. Personally, I follow channels such as vidIQ. I think they provide an amazing amount of content, ranging from creating content to updates. I think they're probably a really good place to go to figure out what you would need to do to A, just open a channel and the stuff you want to do, and B, the stuff you want to focus on and things to get right and things to experiment on. I think vidIQ is a really good place to go and learn on how to become a YouTuber. Next question. iGoat-PS. How old are you? Married? Originally from? Okay, I'm 37 years old. I'm married. I think I've been married for about 14, 15 years. And I was born and bred in London. The next question is from I'm Kinda Scared 698. And their question is, what wasteland do you prefer? The capital, Commonwealth, or the Mojave? Well, I think I probably have answered this. It's got to be the capital. I love the design of the game, the metro tunnels. Fallout 3, to me, feels very claustrophobic, but in a good way, I think. What I mean is that it feels very cramped, not much open space, and basically lots of wear and tear, and nowhere to really run away other than the way you came. The game design itself just feels much more appealing to me from a point of view of a world that's experienced Fallout. So I think I prefer the capital over the Mojave and the Commonwealth. Okay, next question comes from JC23783, and their question is, any plans to cover other post-apocalyptic games such as Wasteland 2 or 3? Keep up the work. When I made Trapped in Fallout, I basically made the channel with a really big promise that I hope to keep forever. And that is that my channel will only ever be dedicated to Fallout content. So in short, the answer to your question is no. I will not be covering any other game other than Fallout. So at the moment, I'm covering Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4. And I still feel like I have a lot more to add. But if I ever were to finish those 3 games, I probably may look into other Fallout games. And there are some that I definitely do want to cover. But for the moment, my hands are full with the 3 mentioned titles. Okay, our next question comes from JewAnderMarco8348. And their question is, what is your favorite New Vegas DLC? Okay, so when it comes to Fallout New Vegas DLC, it's actually an easy one for me. It has to be the Old World Blues. Personally, the game is full of danger, politics, and more. But I always felt that the funny side was a little missing in places. And for me, Old World Blues fills that void. I honestly still laugh out loud when going through some of the comedy that you find in Old World Blues. So it's my favorite simply because it feels the most unique to me because of the comedy value that it provides. That's by no means me saying it's the best one. I don't personally think it's the best one, but it is my personal favorite. Next question comes from Kato Jenkins 2471. And the question is, got to spare Nuka-Cola? It's the only thing I can drink to help me think straight. Otherwise, it's all hazy. Well, sadly, my drinking habits are restricted to water and tea only. That's probably a no then. That said, if I do come across one, then sure, I'll express box one of them to you. Okay, the next question comes from Keegan Butler. And that question is, do you plan to play or talk about mods like Sim Settlements? It's something I've actually thought about a lot. And it's been on my mind for a while now. I think I may look at mods in the future as future content. For the moment, I really want to get a really good base coverage of what Fallout games have to offer by their natural design. And once I feel like I've done that, I may start to look at mod content too. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, and Sim Settlements is something I did use once upon a time, and I loved it for reasons I'll keep a secret for now. But yeah, I think one day I may cover modding content. Next question comes from Lamb64. What's the best special perks to start with in Fallout 3? I usually put my strength at 10 and everything else at 5. Okay, they ask special perks, but then they go on to say special points. So I'm going to assume it's probably points. So me personally, for my personal builds, I usually go with endurance and intelligence. Given the level cap in Fallout 3, I put points in intelligence. That way it helps me to max out all of my skills. And having a high endurance really helps with high HP and your sort of general resistances. So that's what I would put my points in. Endurance and intelligence. The next question comes from Lone Wanderer 187. And the question is, does patrolling the Mojave make you wish for a nuclear winter? Yeah, it most certainly does. Or at the very least, to jump into a hidden stash of sunset. Our next question comes from mattasticmattattack 8546. What's your favorite color? Okay, well, I actually have 3 favorite colors, and they are black, white, and red. Although I don't really have many things with those colors for reasons that are bizarre but make sense to me. I actually have things usually in blues, greens, purples, and oranges. Next question is from Micah George 3435, and their question is Sunset or Nuka? Okay, I probably have answered this to a degree. Nuka, always. I started my Fallout journey with Fallout 3, and collecting those Nuka bottles was a pastime favorite of mine, so I would probably go with Nuka. The next question is from MorglortheMangler, and their question is which of these three Fallout drinks do you like best and why? Nuka Cola, Sunset Sarsaparilla, or Vim? I think I may have just answered this one, but I'll give it another try. Personally, I like Nuka Cola. Firstly, because it was in Fallout 3, and that was my first game, and it was the first drink I was exposed to in the Fallout world. And secondly, because I pretty much grew up drinking Coca-Cola, which I think is probably where Nuka Cola perhaps may have drawn some of inspirations from. It's one of my favorite drinks. The next question is from Noah Clark 7665, and that question is, what do you think is the canon ending to Fallout New Vegas? Ooh, a very easy question. Okay, personally, I think it's probably one of the factions that is more likely to be the canon ending. And okay, this is why. If you take out the courier as a concept entirely, then this pretty much rules out, I think, House and Yes Man. Probably because the courier isn't there, and Yes Man and both House do need the courier's involvement to make an impact, I think. And if we do that, then that just leaves us with the faction. So personally, I think perhaps the NCR may have won the fight over the Legion simply due to manpower. However, if we consider the courier to be a vital part of the ending, then I would go with either Yes Man or House. House being the sort of the balanced approach where you sort of relinquish responsibilities to him and he tries to fix things, or Yes Man where you take the more I will do everything and take control of everything approach. So if we take out the courier, I think the NCR probably sounds somewhat logical. But if the courier is a vital factor in deciding the end game outcome, then I would probably go with either House or Yes Man. Our next question comes from Pachio6821. And their question is best New Vegas build, not the one you want, the objective best. Okay, so this is another hard question, I think. Okay, so if we go with sort of raw damage output, I think, then stacking perks that gives bonuses to damage or based on the weapons that you use, then this helps. So if we are able to use exploits, then I don't think it matters. You can boost the damage of any weapon to crazy level. So I'll assume you mean on a damage only basis. So I would probably go with a shotgun build. Using no exploits at all, I think shotguns are probably the best way to one or two shot probably almost everything. That said, having that build won't probably help much in other areas of the game, such as speech checks or other general aspects where strength doesn't really play a vital role. Our next question comes from paladinkhan, and their question is, are there any Fallout video creators that inspired you, like Camelworks, for example? Okay, that's an interesting question. Yes, there are. And although it's probably not the answer you want, all of them. I love to check out Fallout content in general. As you can tell from the format of my own videos, they are very similar to many great content creators out there. But at the same time, I have a different approach in the sense that I try to show off the weapon, talk about its location and stats, etc. And I don't think I can call out anyone specifically, just because I'm not really driven by the creator, but I'm driven by the content. So I really enjoy the content that I see. It's a strange one for me to answer. I actually watch a lot of Fallout channels. Some channels that are of similar size to mine, some that are far smaller, some that are significantly bigger, and some that are legendarily bigger than me, and I check out all of their content. So I draw inspiration from content rather than creator. I hope that makes sense. Okay, our next question comes from Paladin's Pride 3187, and that question is, who is your personal favorite character from any or each Fallout game and why? Okay, so I think I might have answered this partially in another question. I love Benny from Fallout New Vegas just because of the story the courier walks through because of Benny's actions. In Fallout 3, I personally like Harold. I love how he makes an appearance in Fallout 3 and where you can end up making a pretty hard choice when you do meet him. I'm not going to say much about the choice itself, but it's a somewhat a heartstring pulling choice. In terms of 4, I love Kate. I love how her story evolves during your time with her, how you can see that she's going through a rather very difficult time, and how it evolves. Again, I don't want to give away too much, but it does, again, pull on the heartstrings when you sort of really start to talk to her and understand the kind of stuff she's been through and how life has treated her. So yeah, they're probably my favorite characters. The next question is from PH Studios Reborn. And the question is, do you think we will ever see the mysterious stranger actually show up? What I mean is like an actual NPC and not disappearing. No, I don't think so. Sadly, I would love to see the stranger, but at the same time, I think not seeing the stranger as an NPC in the NPC flesh, so to speak, adds more mystery towards him. So I think the less we see of him, the more interesting he will be. And for that reason, on the assumption it's true, I think we will never see the mysterious stranger as an NPC that we bump into. Our next question comes from a RevokeRealityy. Hey Trapped, this isn't a Fallout related question, but more so about your journey on YouTube. I posted a lot of Skyrim and Fallout content and grew a loving subscriber base, but never seemed to be able to make it past a certain point, even with consistency and decent video editing, etc. I've seen so many videos saying it's about keyword and algorithm, but I feel that was incorporated. In my opinion, YouTube success is a 50-50 lucky shot when it comes to growing consistently. My question now, in your opinion, how have you found this journey to be in your own words? Ooh, okay. Well, this is an interesting question, especially for someone like me who has effectively homed into just one thing, Fallout. So as a result, things like keyword don't really help me or don't really play a large role in my sort of content strategy or the way I make my content. For me, I literally focus on just the content and I make what I want to make when I want to make it, so to speak. I don't really focus on the most popular things. For example, like I don't focus on trends or anything like that, but instead I focus on the content and how to best present it. So personally, I have had months where some views have exceeded like the 100k mark, and other months where I've just gotten between like 20 to 40k, and some months even less than that. To grow on YouTube, this is honestly my hand on heart advice. Do what you love and try not to focus on the numbers. Honestly, focusing on the numbers is sort of hard because it's not something you can control at all. You can never control the subscribers, you can never control likes, you can never control comments. I don't know how many of my videos you've seen, but I think I've got close to 320 videos. I don't know, but I can't remember the last time I asked in any one of my videos to subscribe or to like, because it's just not something I do. I think if you make the content, then people will either like it or they won't like it, and folks will either subscribe or they won't subscribe. So me personally, my two pence would be to focus and just focus on your content and just engage with your viewers. Make content that you love and try to do something that is unique and something that makes folks like you for what you do. So for me, for instance, I make my content, when you think about it, my content is similar. Other amazing Fallout creators make guides similar to mine, but something I personally try to focus on is to make my guides as short as I possibly can, as simple as I can, as easy to understand as I can. I don't focus on trying to make really long videos. I can if I want to, but I really don't want to. My sort of uniqueness to my channel is I just try to make things as easy as possible. And the whole idea is anyone can watch any video and they don't need to know anything about me. They don't need to know anything about my quirks or you know, jokes or some inside story. Nothing. It is, you watch a video, you just get nothing but pure information and you take whatever you take away from it at the end. So that's what I do. So what I would say is, in short, do what you love. Try to do what you love as consistently as you can. And probably the most important thing is don't try to focus on the numbers, but try to focus on the engagement and try to focus on just making people happy. And I think in time, things will automatically work. It's sort of like the old saying, something we say in London, you know, you don't need to look after the pounds if you look after the pences. So, you know, if you look after the pences, before you know it, all the pound will look after themselves. That sort of thing. Focus on the engagement, focus on folks checking out your content, and everything else should hopefully, fingers crossed, automatically be in place. Okay, next question comes from RexGo6GB. What faction do you think prevailed at the end of Fallout 4 New Vegas, and why? Okay, so personally, I think either House or Yes Man would probably win at the end of Fallout New Vegas. I think the Courier is more likely to go with either House due to the balanced approach, or Yes Man to take control of themselves. In 4, I'm not totally sure. I think, again, for the same reasons, i.e. going with folks who are living the day, actually grinding the grind. I think it'll probably be the Minutemen, as they are more likely to be the choice. It's the faction you see first, and they actually genuinely, hand on heart, feel like the good guys. And I think most folks will probably pick the good guys over others. So I think in Fallout 4, probably the Minutemen. Our next question comes from RGSreaper, and their question is, what's the drop rate of the rod on Discord? I'm not entirely sure what that is. I'm not sure if that's a Fallout thing. I'm assuming it probably isn't. If it is, it's one gnarly unique weapon I haven't heard of yet. So I'm going to say, given that I don't know what it is, probably very, 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 very low. Okay, our next question comes from Robert Oliver 2651, and their question is, would you support ending the series of Fallout 5 Mad Max? It takes place in Australia and doesn't have power armor, but it does have cars. Okay, well, it's not a game I have, well, rather, it's not a mod I have personally played, but I would encourage versions of Fallout games in general to carry on, as they both, I think, inspire people to play and try out new things, as well as to explore the game design elements. It's a shame that it doesn't have any power armor, but the cars do sound like a good thing, especially in the world of Mad Max, where vehicles play a pretty vital role. Okay, our next question comes from Roy849, and they ask, how many hours on each game, and also your thoughts on Fallout 5? Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to dive into some of my memory now. So I've been playing Fallout 3 since it came out, which I think was in 2008. And Fallout New Vegas came out 2 years after that, which was in 2010. And then Fallout 5 came out 5 years after that, which was 2015. So I've been playing all 3 games since the year they were released, across multiple platforms. So I have no idea how many hours I've accumulated across all 3 games or individually, but I can say probably easily for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, definitely 1,000 hours plus. Fallout 4, Fallout 4, probably in the 600-hour region. Yeah, so I think it's probably that, they're probably ballpark hours. Our next question comes from Solid King 7044, and it is, what is your favorite Fallout YouTuber other than yourself? Okay, so I think I might have answered this one. I don't really have one. I'm more of a fan of content rather than creator. So I think, again, I watch a lot of Fallout content from a lot of Fallout creators. Again, some channels that are smaller than mine, some channels that are significantly bigger than mine, some similar to mine, and some that are like just ginormously big. And I watch all of their content, and I don't really have a favorite Fallout YouTuber. I do actually have favorite non-Fallout channels that I sort of religiously watch, but when it comes to Fallout, I don't really have a favorite as such. Our next question is from someone with an R profile 8487, and that question is, I know you only asked for one question, but still I need to know 2 of my question. Number 1, do you play with mods from time to time? If so, your favorite mods. And number 2, Sunset Sarsaparilla or Nuka-Cola? Okay, so I do use mods, but I only use mods for performance reasons. I don't use mods for game mechanics enhancing, or I don't know, like changing textures drastically or changing the behavior of NPCs or anything like that. I only use mods to help with stuff like frame rate and to have help prevent random crashes. Whenever I record my content, I like to keep my content as vanilla as I possibly can, and for that reason I basically avoid mods that sort of change the game, whether it's gameplay or UI or whatever. In terms of drinks, again, it's Nuka-Cola, simply because Fallout 3 was the first game I ever played, and I basically just like Nuka-Cola. Okay, so our next questions comes from SteveBird6129, and Steve has pretty much gone to town, and he did this for my first QA video and my second QA video, this being my third one. He has asked like a number of questions. So thanks, Steve, for although I did ask, please ask just the one question. So okay, I'll try to answer your questions as best I can. Right, so first question. What Fallout do you think you'd have the best chance of surviving if you had to? I'll probably go with Fallout 3. I like to play sneak, and I think in Fallout 3 I'll probably have the best chance to survive. What 3 things do you want to see from Fallout 5 when it comes? Okay, 3 things in bulletproof fashion. I would like to see a very good story. Not something with twists, but something that just sort of develops over time. I would love to see a living, breathing world. So what that means is a world that sort of changes as you progress. For instance, if I visited River City in Fallout 3, the next time I visit River City in Fallout 3, I would like to see that the city sort of moved a little bit, or places have sort of undertaken more water. You know, the world that literally changes and isn't sort of like a static sort of thing. And thirdly, I would like to see something new actually from a game design point of view. Something that I've always felt has always not used or underused is the water element of the game. So when you think about it, Fallout 3, New Vegas, for most of the game, like easily 90% plus of it is all set on land. But there is a lot of stuff underwater that we just don't know about. And I think that would be something really cool to explore. Okay, next question. Do you think Spectacle Island is too big for building on? No, I don't. I think it's the perfect size to build your own living, breathing city. Next question. Will you ever play Fallout 76 with some of your subscribers? Yes, I hope to one day. Since it's not a game I'm covering today, I don't think it's something I'd be able to do today. And I've got a pretty hectic schedule, so I don't think it'll be something I'd be able to do. But if I ever do one day manage to go full time on the channel, then yes, it's something I 100% want to do. Fallout 76 is meant to be an online co-op or group experience, so it makes most sense to just chill out with a lot of folks and just go and take on some deathclaws together. Why not? Next question. Favorite trick you use in Fallout? Okay, so I use different tricks in different Fallout games. In Fallout 3, I love using the Operation Anchorage simulation glitch to basically take out all the weapons. That's pretty cool. In Fallout New Vegas, I love using the skills 100 and the double perks glitch. And in Fallout 4, I love using the scrap special books glitch. It's really cool. Basically, using the scrap special book glitch, I'm able to get pretty much almost all of my specials around the 20 mark, which is quite interesting. Allows me to level up quite quickly. I virtually never ever fail any speech checks, and I'm able to run in one sprint bar from one corner of the map to the other, and that's pretty cool. Next question. Would you rather eat an Oreo after drinking orange juice or eat a peanut butter sandwich dunked in milk? Peanut butter in milk. I love both, and they are part of my favorite food group, so why not? I love peanut butter and I love milk. What's your favorite thing to put on toast? Well, easy. I usually go with peanut butter or Nutella spread. I do from time to time have other stuff, but peanut butter and Nutella are my two go-tos when it comes to sort of putting things on toast. When was the last time you played a game that wasn't Fallout, and what was it? Last night. So I am able to play for about between 20 to 30 minutes each night. I managed to negotiate some free time, and in that time I'm playing Starfield. Next question. Who would win in a fight, Preston or Hancock? Okay, so I think this one probably depends. If it's an expected fight, so something that's sort of been set up and pre-arranged, so to speak, I think Preston probably has the edge, simply because of his sort of fighting experience. If it's sort of a very ad hoc sort of surprise fight, I think Hancock will probably win. Next question. Have you ever played Borderlands? You should. It's awesome. Sadly, no. Again, not to sort of say the same excuse, but I do have hand on heart a pretty busy schedule. So I only really have a limited amount of time to be able to play games. So it's not a game I've played, but maybe one day. Next question. What do you do when you're not recording video content? Okay, this is actually an easy one. I spend it with the family. So I spent it with my wife, my little sister, and my 3 kids. We do all sorts. Play Minecraft, board games, outdoor in parks, shopping. Basically usual family stuff. When I'm not with the family, I'm at my 9 to 5 job. Okay, next question. What is your favorite random encounter? Okay, so I've definitely answered this one, I think. It was finding the alien blaster in Fallout 3. I was so surprised just how powerful that weapon is, and even more so when I was not able to find any more ammo for it. It's something that stuck in my mind. It was probably the best weapon I found at the time of me playing Fallout 3, and frustrating too when I ran out of ammo, because I couldn't find any ammo anyway. Next question. Favorite holiday destination or dream holiday destination? Well, dream holiday. I love exploring, so I wish I could go in space. No, I'm not just saying this because of Starfield. I genuinely would have loved to have been able to travel in space. I don't think folks should be confined to one planet. I think, there's so much stuff out there. I'd love to go and see what life has to offer, and it isn't just, sitting on Earth. It's probably something I never will be able to do, but if I could, it'd be that. Next question. If you were a ghoul living in the underworld, what would be your job? Okay, yeah, that's easy. I'll probably be a weapons vendor. Next question. Do you think there is any merit to the theory of that dog meat is a synth? Oh, okay, this is an interesting one because I actually made a community post about this some time ago. I think dog meat probably is a synth in Fallout 4, and here's why. So dogmeat is one of the only few in the Commonwealth that are friendly on first instance, whilst almost every other dog are hostile on first instance. Dogmeat seems to have an infinite amount of HP, and he seems to have no issues following you around and following your commands. He also has perks just for him, and he's also not affected by the Lone Wanderer perk, even though when you have him as a companion, you can't get anyone else. He also appears to be in great condition, like given the circumstances of the Commonwealth, and the likelihood of you finding a dog who is willing to follow your commands, no matter what, and stick by your side, never really taking any crazy damage either, and always being around you. It doesn't sound like a very common situation that one may find themselves in the Commonwealth. It almost feels like something that was deliberately set up. Yes, it's true. Dogmeat is Mama Murphy's companion, and she outright says that. But the fact that you find this dog that's in basically pristine condition, super friendly towards you, but hostile towards other human NPCs you come across. So if you're walking down, I don't know, Concord or something, and there's like a raider, Dogmeat isn't friendly towards him automatically. In fact, he goes and attacks him. He growls on the first instance, but for some reason, when he sees you, he becomes friendly instantly. So I think there are too many coincidences in play to not consider or entertain the thought that Dogmeat might be a synth. Next question: Do you think Greg's is overrated? Having this argument right now. Okay, probably 2 weeks old, this argument now, but anyway. So if you're talking about Greg's, as in Greg's, the British bakery chain, I personally love it. It's a great place for quick and healthy food. It's not too expensive, easy to spot. So yeah, I personally like it. I spent years going to Greg's during my college years. So yeah, I personally think Greg's is not overrated. I think they are good value for what they offer. Next question: shepherd's pie or Sunday roast? Easy, Sunday roast. Next question: digestive biscuits, chocolate or plain? Chocolate. Next question: favorite day of the year? That's easy. My kids' birthdays. Next one: do you like gardening? Yep, I love gardening. Next question: spray and pray or splatter cannon? Spray and pray, definitely. Next question: how long have you been married? 14 years. Yeah, 14 years. Next question: what's your favorite mobile game at the moment? Well, with my kids, we play a lot of Minecraft, and we play across like mobile devices and tablets, so it's Minecraft. Next question: are you good at DIY? I think I am. I've made my own chairs, I've made my own tables. This isn't anything I've done recently, this is sort of years ago, but it is stuff that I did as part of like woodwork workshops. I even once made a partial greenhouse, which is not doing very well at the moment. But yeah, I can make stuff. I don't think I'm good at it, but I think I'm probably good enough. Next question: favorite band? Okay, so I don't really have a favorite band. Again, similar to the whole favorite YouTuber question, I don't really have favorite bands, but I have favorite tracks. That said, I do like a lot of tracks that... okay, I'll give you one example. Linkin Park, I love some of their tracks. So any tracks or any tunes that sound similar to that, that's the kind of stuff I like. So I don't really have a favorite band, but I do listen to I actually listen to a range of different music now that I think about it. I listen to classicals, I listen to music from different parts of the world. There are some tracks I listen to where I have no idea what they're saying. They're totally different language, but I just like listening to it because of the way it makes me feel. Okay, how old are you? Genuinely interested. Okay, I'm 37 years old. I turned 37 2 months ago. Next question. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, or other? KFC. Are you a vegetarian? No, I'm not. I have to follow a very strict diet because of sort of personal circumstances, and it means I've got to sort of consume chicken and fish and stuff. So I'm not a vegetarian. Rock or pop? Again, similar to the favorite band question, I listen to all genres, so I actually like both. Totally depends on the track I'm listening to, so it's probably both. And that's the end of Steve Bird's questions. Thank you, Steve. Okay, our next question comes from Struggle.Snuggles. And they have two questions. Number one, which Fallout game made you realize how awesome this franchise is? And number two, Brotherhood of Steel or Enclave? Oh boy. Okay, both being very difficult questions. So, Fallout 3 was the first Fallout game that I played, and it was the game that made me want to play more Fallout games. So, Fallout 3 is the game that made me realize just how awesome Fallout is. In terms of Brotherhood of Steel or the Enclave, so that's a hard one. They both have their merits and flaws, and they both try to do good, and we know it doesn't always work out that way. If I have to choose, usually it depends on my playstyle. Okay, so if I had to choose one over the other in general, I think I would go with the Enclave, simply because I want to see a bigger presence of them in the Fallout series. I feel like they've been seriously underrepresented in the games. Like they're just not enough presence of the Enclave, and I'd like to see them more. So I guess the question didn't really say who's your favorite or who's better or anything like that, just one or the other. I'd pick the Enclave simply because I want to see more of them. Next question, and it comes from Susie1273, and their question is, how did you get trapped in Fallout? Okay, so I've definitely answered this one. But Susie, I purchased the game pretty much randomly. I bought Fallout 3 because of its game cover, and I have pretty much been playing it ever since. Fallout 3 is what got me into Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout New Vegas is what got me into Fallout 4. So I basically got trapped in the game simply because I liked the cover of Fallout 3. Next question comes from Tall Lanky One, and the question is, what's your favorite build and why? Okay, so I think I'll probably answer this one as well. I love playing two build types, the first being sneaky and the second one being heavy guns. I love the whole slowly moving around and trying to basically avoid fights as much as I can whilst playing as a sneak sort of style. And when I'm not playing that, I like to play as a heavy guns, which is literally the polar opposite of that, which is to go in guns blazing, like firing first and asking questions later, that sort of thing. I think they're both really, really fun depending on how you play it. For me, it's really cool because it literally turns the games, it makes the entire experience totally different for me. When I'm playing sneak, I'm avoiding things. And when I'm playing a different playthrough as a heavy gunner, I'm not avoiding things, I'm going and looking for things. So for me, it gives a whole new spectrum of experience for the games. The next question is from BigBossJack. What is your favorite weapon in Fallout New Vegas? Mine is Mercy, the 40mm grenade machine gun. Okay, so this is an easy one. It's got to be the Gobi campaign scout rifle. I love playing sneak builds, and although the rifle gives off a rather large sound, I love using it. That said, because of my build, I do have another one, and that's the Rat Slayer. It's not as powerful as the scout rifle, for sure, but the night vision and the suppressor, it helps a lot. Wow, I don't know how many questions I've answered, but let me just have a quick look. Okay, I don't think there are too many left, so again, I'm going to try and answer every single one. The next question comes from the entertainer HHC. And it's not a question. But okay, I've been on YouTube for about 3 to 4 years. That's great. I wish you the best of luck. It's been just over 2 years for me, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 and beyond. The next question comes from the Fox Dealer. Wow, how are you doing today? Fox, I am doing very well, thank you. Thank you very much for asking, and I hope you're doing well as well. How are you doing? The next question comes from Tom, the Founder Dry Minion 4163. Who's your favorite companion in every Fallout? Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this straight to the point. In Fallout 3, it's Sharon. In Fallout New Vegas, it's 100% Boone. And in Fallout 4, it's Kate. Our next question comes from Travis Green Guitar. And their question is, who is indisputably the most important person in Fallout 101? He who shelters us from the harshness of the atomic wasteland and to whom we owe everything we have, including our lives. Well, I can only think of three options. It's either the Overseer, or it's the Overseer, and if not the first two, then it's got to be the third, which I think is the Overseer. So I personally think it's the Overseer, but I don't know. I'll leave it for you to decide. The next question comes from TeslarJ1985. Why make videos about Fallout? Indeed, why make videos at all? I love playing Fallout, and I have always loved playing the game. I'm always sort of tinkering on sort of personal side projects, and something I love doing is just doing things that are creative. I love having a creative outlet. So I love playing Fallout simply because I just love playing the game. Why make videos? So I make videos because it brings me it brings me a little peace in the world, and I create videos as it helps me to keep my center and keeps me to keep my mind in a very sane place. A strange one. Making videos certainly takes effort, and it's not easy to do. But okay, I'll put it this way. Basically, it brings me comfort making content, and I enjoy the experience. So I make content because it helps me to think things through clearly, and I do it because I love doing it. Right. Okay. Next question. Unit 701 GIGA. Why are you trapped in Fallout? And are you related to Mo the Centaur? Well, it's something I love doing, playing Fallout, and so I've been trapped in the game for a very long time now. I'm trapped because I love playing and exploring the world of Fallout. And sadly, no, I am not related to Mo the Centaur. Okay, our next question comes from VibinTonight. Statistically, what's the best type of cheese? I have no idea. I don't even know if that's something that can even be measured statistically. But if I have to go with one, I'd probably go with mozzarella. Makes pizzas lovely, so why not mozzarella? That's my answer. The next question comes from Viper0523. Did you know using timed mini nukes with laser detonator creates a fireworks show? Yep, I definitely do. And it's something I hope to cover one day on the channel when I start to look into DLC content for Fallout New Vegas. Right, the next question is from Will Harris 8006. My question is, which Fallout game would you say was the game you could play for hours and not get bored playing? It's Fallout 3. It was the first Fallout game I ever played, and I absolutely loved it. And I love the whole broken down building settings, the metro tunnels. I was born and bred in London myself, so it reminds me of what London would look like had it gone through this sort of devastating Fallout event. So although it would sound strange, it basically feels like I'm playing the game that's been set in a place where I feel like I grew up in, had it been hit by some pretty nasty stuff. So Fallout 3 is probably the game I can play for endlessly, not following any quest, just exploring, just going into tunnels, just walking around cities, whatever it may be. Next question comes from why at Darkworth2684. It is, what's your favorite Fallout game? Okay, so I know I've definitely said Fallout 3, but I don't actually have a favorite Fallout game. I love them all for what they have to offer. I've already said this. I love the game design of Fallout 3, but I absolutely love the complex story of Fallout New Vegas and all the sort of nuances and complexities between all the factions and the dramas within each of the factions. And I love the gameplay mechanics of Fallout 4. If there was a game that combined the game design of Fallout 3, the story of Fallout New Vegas, and the gameplay mechanics of Fallout 4, that would be my favorite game. But today I don't think that currently exists. Okay, next question is from X1Noodles1X. What made you start your channel and what's your favorite unique weapon in Fallout? Okay, so I love playing Fallout. if you checked out my first video on my channel, you will see that it's a very different video to the type of content I make today. I love playing the games from a role-playing point of view, and that's why I love creating content. My favorite weapon of all time, hands down, is Vengeance, the unique Gatling laser from Fallout 3. Next question comes from yesItsKianR. And the question is, your favorite video you've made on the channel? Okay, so this is an interesting question. I don't really have a favorite as such, but I do have favorite type of videos. I love making glitch videos and exploit videos. They're very fun to make, definitely, and I really get to show off stuff that is not normal by game design. Actually, now that I think about it, if I had to choose one, I would go with the scrap special book from Fallout 4. I think I am the first YouTuber ever to make a video on that method of exploit specifically. So I think I'm the first YouTuber to make a video on using the scrap method on the special book to then convert it into a scrappable object and then to be able to duplicate it. There are definitely videos out there that show how to duplicate the special book, but I think I might be the first YouTuber to make a video where I actually show you that you can scrap the book and then duplicate it. And for that one reason alone, I think that's actually my favorite video now that I think about it. To me, it means I'm part of the Fallout history, in the sense that, you know, everyone's found something for the first time. And I am by no means claiming credit for the glitch. It's not something I found. It's something that I learned about by speaking to my good buddy. If you want to know, you've got to check out the video. But between the two of us, the video is now out there, and if it is true, if I am certainly the first YouTuber to make the video on that, then it's basically something that's going to go down in Fallout history from a degree, I suppose. Next question comes from zeeeerow. Favorite power armor model? Again, this is actually quite easy for me. It's got to be the T45. It was literally the first thing I ever saw from the Fallout world, period. In terms of Fallout material, the T45 power armor was the first thing I ever saw from the Fallout world, and it was the thing that pulled me into playing Fallout 3. It's always been my favorite just because I find it really cool. And although I know there are stronger armor or power armors out there, it's the one I use for my heavy guns build. So when I think about it, the T45 power armor actually has a really big influence in my journey with Fallout. The only reason I got into Fallout was because I saw this really cool looking game cover, and that was Fallout 3. And the cool thing about the cover was the power armor, the helmet specifically. So it's got to be my favorite power armor. Next, we have a question from Nathan Screener 244. And that question is, what other games do you enjoy to play? And which New Vegas ending is your favorite when you do a new playthrough? Okay, so firstly, other than Fallout, I am currently playing Starfield, but I do enjoy playing Minecraft with my boys. And in terms of which is my favorite ending, I think I'll probably go with both House and Yes Man. I don't particularly like the ending of the factions, so I usually go with House when I feel that a more balanced approach is needed, or I go with Yes Man when I feel like I know what's right for the Mojave Wasteland. Right, and our last series of questions comes from RA Gaming 91. So first question, what are your thoughts on the Fallout TV series for Amazon Prime? I see it's still slated for a fall 2024 release and has a cast announced including Walton Goggins. So honestly, it is something I am looking forward to. I just hope that the series sticks to the lore. It's an interesting one when you think about it. When you play Fallout, you experience the entire world from the point of view of just one person. Since this is a TV series, it would be interesting in seeing how things go. I suspect there's going to be a lot of drama of vaults, experiments, monsters such as mutants, other races such as ghouls and aliens too. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing. But at the same time, I think things will need to be done in a very delicate sort of way, because it's very easy to break the immersion. How should I put it? Sometimes TV series do take the liberty with creativity, and I really hope that the series sticks to the lore as much as possible. Next question. What is your plan for your channel once you get to a final run of content, or where you feel comfortable being finished with releasing content for Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4? Okay, so hand on heart, I'm not entirely sure. Once I finish covering all the weapons, armors, glitches, etc. for all the games, I'm not entirely sure. That said, I have always wanted to create content on build types like verse lists or strongest weapon, that sort of thing. But so many great content creators have already done that, so I don't want to just sort of repeat things. I'm not entirely sure. I may start to look at Fallout 76. I know it's got a very mixed bag of reviews, but it is nonetheless a Fallout game that many people enjoy, and I think it wouldn't be fair to say, oh, it doesn't deserve a little bit of a spotlight, just like Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4 have. That said, I don't know how long it's going to take me to cover everything I want to cover. Who knows? Maybe Fallout 5 might be out by the time I finish the 3. The last question is, have you considered getting yourself trapped in Skyrim or any other Elder Scroll games? Okay, so I actually love playing Elder Scroll games. I haven't played them for a very long time now, but I do love them. But at the moment, the only other game I'm playing is Starfield. So in general, I love Bethesda games, especially where exploration is a key core component of the game design. For my channel, however, being trapped in Fallout, like I said, I've made a pretty big promise, and that is that I will only ever make Fallout content, and I'm going to stick to that promise as best I can. If one day in the future it makes natural to maybe rethink that, I may do so, but hand on heart, I don't want to make anything else. I love Fallout, and it's the only type of content that I want to make and I will make for my channel. It's a promise I've made to myself, and it's literally in the title of my channel description. If you go to the about page, it's literally the first thing I say, and I am going to stick to it. Yeah, I'm going to stick to it. Right, so that is basically all the questions that I'm able to read. Hopefully there weren't any questions that were, let's just say, magically removed for controls that are out of my own hands. So in every question that I saw on the post itself, I've tried my best to answer. Well, I feel like I've got a sore throat. I don't think I've talked this much for this long in a long time. So for anyone that still sticked around after this long, holy, I've got to know how long this video is. It's probably going to be on the 1 hour mark. I'm basically just talking into like a voice recorder, so I've got no idea how long I've been talking so far. So that's it. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone, absolutely everyone that supported me, that's helped me to get this far. I really love doing what I do, and I really love everyone's support, and I love everyone for just how much you've helped. It's probably just words, but honestly, hand on heart, I wouldn't be doing this if it didn't bring me peace in my life, and I do it because I love it. And yeah, I don't want to get too. So this is something I don't do in my videos. I don't sort of just waffle. I just say stuff, move on to the next info. But this is one of the few opportunities where I can just sort of speak my mind. Thank you once again. If you missed the community post and you did want to ask a question and you feel like you wanted to but you missed out, feel free to leave a question in the comment section of this video, and I'll try my best to answer it in the comments. Once again, thank you all very much, and I guess I will see you in the next one.